All right, welcome to the first content video of Simple Systems. Here we're going to cover the basics of causality and loops by building our first CLD. So first, causality. We work with causal links bridging two events together. Sort of A happens because of B. They have directionality. A causing B doesn't mean B causes A, and polarity. We represent them by drawing an arrow from cause to effect and put the polarity as little plus or minus by the arrowhead. So a positive link will read as thing A goes up, thing B goes up. These causal links are also about the relation between two things. So as thing A goes down, thing B goes down is also a positive link since the two events are moving in the same direction. A negative link, therefore, reads like as thing A goes up, thing B goes down. Inverse relationships. So you'll also occasionally see a double slash put through certain links. All that this is communicating is that there is a delay between thing A moving and seeing the result in thing B. Now, from these links, we're going to start chaining them together. We're going to have A causes B causes C, so on and so forth, building out these longer lines. And as we do this for most systems, we find that they end up looping back on themselves. For example, a business hires more employees. These employees make the company more money. The business then uses that money to hire more employees. That's a causal loop. And since every causal link is positive, if you run it out, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. That business is going to keep reinvesting that money to get more and more employees, and it's going to be a reinforcing loop. Reinforcing loops here cause unrestricted expansion or contraction, again, if the thing being reinforced is shrinkage. So now let's walk through another basic loop. As more students are hungry, more students buy lunch. As more students buy lunch, fewer students are hungry. Running this out, the loop reaches a balanced state, or equilibrium, where every student that is hungry eventually gets the lunch that they need. That ends up creating a balancing loop. Now, all systems fundamentally are built from these loops, and being able to identify and pull out these loops from real-world events is a core skill of system dynamics. So let's practice now by diagramming these causal loops and make a CLD, or causal loop diagram, in Vensim. We'll walk through something easy first that we don't need exact numbers on. Let's model a student studying. All right, we're going to go ahead and build our first Vensim model. So go ahead and open PLE. You'll get a blank canvas like this. No, we do not want to save automated backups. We're going to go up to this tool here in the top left, variable tool, start dropping down a few variables for what we want to model. Let's go ahead and start with a simple loop of a student studying. So we'll say student studying here. We'll go ahead and add in the grade, and we'll go ahead and add in the motivation to study. So what are the links here? As a student studies more, their grade goes up. We grab the arrow tool here, add a causal link between them. Right click, you'll get polarity marking. This is a positive link. So we have our first causal link built here. Let's go ahead and finish out the loop by saying that as a student's grade goes up, they gain the motivation to study more. So that is, again, another positive link. And finally, as there is a higher motivation to studying, the actual amount the student studies also goes up. So that is now a positive link. So positive, positive, positive. This is a reinforcing loop. We're going to go ahead up here to the comment tool, click one down here, brings up a window. We're going to go ahead and add R1. And we're going to go ahead into shape. We're going to do a counterclockwise loop. Close it. And now you've got your actual loop label. So we'll just go ahead and shrink that down. And there we go. Now, that's building a reinforcing loop, but we want to add a little bit more onto this to show how loops interact and actually show a balancing loop also working. So we're going to go ahead and add another variable over here, and we're going to go ahead and call it exhaustion. So as students continue to study, they start getting tired and their exhaustion builds. Positive link. And as the students get exhausted, they start to lose motivation to study. So as exhaustion goes up, motivation goes down. That's our first negative polarity marking. So we go ahead and build that one out there. And now we have another loop going around here. Positive, negative, positive. That is our first balancing loop, B1. We're going to go ahead and also add a loop here. Remember to drag and shrink the label down. And here we go. With 4 variables and 2 loops, we have our first simple system modeled. Think about what behavior this is going to cause long term as we run these loops out. The students are going to continue to study, see their grade improve, get more motivation to study, and constantly improve there. But they will eventually hit a limit because of the balancing loop where they just get too tired to study and their grade will only go up by a certain maximum improvement level because they're constrained by this balancing loop. So that is our first very basic CLD. What I would like you to do now on your own is think of another loop, think of another thing that either raises or lowers your motivation to study, such as being hungry, such as teacher feedback, anything else you can come up with, and begin adding it to the model. See if you can add a second reinforcing and a second balancing loop so that you can start seeing how CLDs expand and grow. If you start adding too many loops, you're also going to start running into the challenge of keeping the models together without having arrows start crossing everywhere. With only 2 loops, it's very simple to arrange, but if we start throwing variables to the left and to the right of this, we may end up with loops that start crossing, and we try to untangle that the best we can. But anyway, this has been a very, very simple introduction to Vensim, and I hope to see you in the next video where we go over stock and flows.